All right, you guys have had a little break between games. What's been going on with the team?
Well, just trying to kind of reset a little bit, and had some good practices. Also been able to get, a couple days to get our bodies back. But our guys have responded well, so I'm excited about these next 2 days of practice. And then obviously playing a very good, very successful Wofford team. It's going to be a great challenge for us. These next 4 or 5 games with that, and then the Cayman Islands trip, and then Furman when we get back is going to be a great 5-game challenge to see if we're making the progress we need to make at this time of the year.
You mentioned Wofford. They played some big teams. They take care of the ball well. I mean, just your perceptions of what they're doing this year.
Well, they run great stuff on offense, very tough, physical on defense, just high-level, skillful players that know how to play. And what they've done now, with a couple replacements from the 2 of the starters they lost last year, they know how to win, and they know what it takes to win. And they obviously always play a non-conference schedule that's very challenging with road games and different things like that. In the last 2 games, with 10 minutes to go in each game, they're right in the game. So it's something that is going to be a great challenge for us. Defensively, we're going to have to do a much better job than we did in the previous 2 games. Not only guarding the basketball, but guarding ball screens, guarding the 3-point shot are going to be big keys for us in this one.
You're still getting turnovers. How pleased are you with that aspect of it?
Well, I think the one thing that is going to be a challenge for us, because of the different situations that we're in, we have to become maybe a little more solid on defense. And maybe the steals go down in terms of total numbers, but our defensive field goal percentage also goes down. And I think that's just something that, as we move forward, that's going to be a big point of emphasis for us.
Speaking of defense, Coach, since the IUPUI game, have you noticed an improved response from the players in practice?
Yeah, I think obviously we're able to kind of now get a grip on what we need to get done on the defensive end from all 5 positions, from the guys coming off the bench as well. And we have to, 1, we got to guard the ball better. 2, we off the ball, we got to be more active and alert, so when the ball comes to your man, you're there on the catch. And again, you can't give up second chance points and second shots. And so, you got to get back a little bit more to, as I said, a little bit more of our core defensive stuff, and playing a little more solid when it comes to our defense. Keeping the ball in front of us, pressuring the ball so the defense is out of rhythm, but not to the point of we're putting ourselves out of position by either a lack of focus at times or maybe playing for the steal. And that's just something, again, it's always a fine line when you got guys who are great anticipators, and it's just something that we need to really, really drill home over this next month, because we have to, over this next month, become a much better defensive team.
How beneficial maybe was it to have these first 4 games at home as opposed to having one going out the road and back and forth? How beneficial was it to have it all at home?
Obviously the practice time is big, especially in this little break that we have right now, because then after this it's fast and furious with the games. And when you're traveling, you're not sometimes able to get as much reps in as you need. So I think it's beneficial. I think we got to put ourselves in a position where, going on the road this weekend now, that we perform really well on the road as well, because that's a big key to our success.
Coach, Ray played, I think, around 129 minutes last season. He stepped into a much different role this season. How has he progressed since he's arrived at USF?
It's a good question with Ray, because I think one of his best attributes last year was when we needed him, he was ready to play, and he got better during the season. And there's a lot of guys that would mope around and not put in the time or have the focus in practice because they're not logging the minutes, and Ray was one of the epitome of the saying, don't count your minutes, make your minutes count. And he did that last year. And then he took what he learned and took what he knew that he needed to get better at and did a great job in the spring and summer preparing himself for this year. The role is even bigger than probably what he thought, you know what I mean? But at the same time, I think he's prepared. He's been really diligent in terms of getting in extra film work, in terms of trying to accelerate the process now of becoming a main cog in our both defensive schemes and offensive actions as well. So, you know, it's always tough when young guys don't maybe log the minutes that they were hoping for, but he did a good job of not letting that stop his progress. Because the thing we promise in the recruiting is that when you're done playing here, you'll be the very best player that you can be. Now, the steps along the way aren't the same for everybody, but if you're putting in the time and getting better, again, the mantra of our program, then you're going to have a type of career that you want, and the most important thing is that you end it the way you want it to end.
Good stuff.
All good?
Who are the energy bringers on this team? Because that's something that you lost with Mayan and with
Right.
Lex.
And, you know, those guys were high energy guys, and so now we've got to challenge guys, you know. You know, obviously, Hugh always brings a lot of energy and intensity. David in a different manner, but obviously it's been noted his hustle plays and different things that he does. Obviously, I think in the last game with Justin Brown as our leading rebounder, he's stepping into that role a little more. But we need a couple more guys. You know, we need a couple more guys to be able to make some of those energy type plays. I think Jameer Chaplin is a guy that even as a young player could fill some of that void that we're missing. And again, it's collective, because that's one of our attributes, is that we're a high energy team. Well, you know, we have two guys out that were high energy guys, and so now other guys need to pick that up. Again, the biggest challenge is no one has to do anything different. They don't have to change who they are. Everybody just needs to do it a little better and a little more efficiently.
When you start getting some of the open looks to go your way?
Went to church twice this week. Because
I know it's a loaded question.
yeah, you know, I mean, what you got to do is you just got to keep creating good shots, and you just you know eventually they're gonna fall. And what I always say with shooting is do those other things well, and it's amazing how many shots start falling for you. You know, but we're creating some good looks. We just haven't shot the ball well early in this season. All right.